and it's their intrinsic
And they found, this food basically robbed.
sound, food, or sound like subscribe to. This dude is who these Masons look up to. And we know that presidents and we know that congressmen, they walk around with that Masonic pen. You go down Washington. We know that a lot of these people are Masons. So it makes the whole thing weird, and it makes the validity of Wilkes Booth's diary and Lafayette's diary valid. I mean, it makes you really question all that for anybody who may not understand, what's going on. If you don't believe it, then when you see all this, you have to be like, yeah, this shit is real. Now, we know Albert Pike. Well, a lot of people probably don't know. Pike also has a statue in Judiciary Square in Washington, D.C., where a lot of people lobbied to get it removed. A lot of black people tried to get it removed, but the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, basically saved it. And, if you know anything about that league, it's supposed to be controlled by Britain, to tell you the truth. But they saved Pike's statue. He is the only Confederate officer to have a statue in Washington, D.C. Why? What did he do to deserve that? So even if you don't want to get into that part of it that I'm saying, the whole Masonic stuff, I mean, some of this stuff is like, come on, right in front of your face. Why does this dude have a statue in Washington, D.C.? Come on. And Muslims, when you see what's coming, it's going to blow your mind. You need to understand what you are into. So now the KKK was founded in 1866. That's the year after slavery ended, by 6 Confederate officers, including Albert Pike and Nathan Bedford Forrest. A lot of you know who he is. He was also a general and a Freemason. So now, what is the KKK based on? Where does it come from? It comes from the Knights Templar, and that's easy to see. Now, the Knights Templar used to be the Order of the Temple, or the Knights of the Temple of Solomon. Now, Pike even admits in his book that Freemasonry begins or started with or came from the Knights Templar, and I would think he mean the Scottish Rite Freemasonry. We know it all comes from Kemet when you get into it. Now, anybody who studies Freemasonry understands that they claim to be founded on the building of the Temple of Solomon. So you can connect all this stuff together. We're talking about the Knights Templars, the KKK, Masonry. All this stuff comes together. So understand, Ku Klux is Greek for Golden Circle. And as I said, Albert Pike, Wilkes Booth was both members of the Order of the Golden Circle, or the Knights of the Golden Circle. So for anybody who says that Pike had nothing to do with the founding of the KKK, it's right in the very name that he had his hand in it, Ku Klux. Klan goes to, the Scottish term. Klan is a Scottish term. Every black person is familiar with the burning cross of the KKK. We all know about it, that burning cross. That is called the Cran Terra. It is Scottish dialect for burning cross. It's what the Scottish clans use to summon their clansmen to arms. All this stuff connects together. Now, I've shown you how it connects. I've shown you that it goes back to Freemasonry. I've shown you that the name goes back to a whole secret society that Pike was in. We know that the Muslims was a part of the Knights Templar. All this stuff is connected. Now, you can't get into the Knights Templar without the Pope. The Pope was the one who sanctioned it. Pope Honorius sanctioned the Knights Templar and gave them their code of conduct. So it wouldn't be no Muslims allowed in it unless he sanctioned it and allowed them to be in there. Now, when the war was over, the whole status quo antebellum I was talking about earlier, as I said, Rome basically used the Muslims and Arabs to conquer into places that they couldn't get into. Like I said, you can't go around with missionaries preaching the word, saying Jesus saves, Jesus this, and then have Roman soldiers going around conquering and killing everything. So they had to use the Muslims, they had to use Islam to do it. And that's what they did. They used the Muslims, they used Islam to go in there and conquer in places that they couldn't get their foot in there, and they struck that deal. Now, the whole thing is when you go back and look at Islamic conquest during that time, when you go and look at the map, you can see that these are basically the areas that the Muslims conquest. This is basically what they conquered. But when you go ahead and look at the lands or the empire of Rome, it would seem as if the Muslims conquered the Roman Empire, and we know that's not the case. So when you look at it, it's kind of suspect. It's how could they, during this time, the 7th century, had conquered all of these places that supposedly occupied or a part of the whole Roman Empire. And when you look up here, you can see that they didn't conquer Rome, they didn't conquer Greece, they didn't conquer England, but everything else they had a hand into. So you see, they was in Spain. It was in all these places that Rome wanted to get into and conquer, but they couldn't get in there. So they used the Arabs to get in there and and do it for them. So the Arabs did all that conquering. They conquered into places that Rome wanted to get into. And basically the Crusades was a smokescreen for the exchange of power that took place. So basically when the Crusades happened, they came in there and they basically wiped out who they really wanted to wipe out when they put in power somebody who would listen to Rome and be for the Pope. And, they basically transferred power from, the Muslims to Rome, or they put Muslim leaders in place, but really Rome was going to be, ruling the whole thing. And that's basically what we see today in a lot of these places that's ran by Muslims. They answer to Rome. They answer to the Pope. The whole thing was smoke and mirrors. It was a smoke screen, and it was, a good power move on the part of Rome as far as taking over lands they couldn't get in there. Because as I said, you can't be walking around preaching Christ and talking about forgiveness and all this and that, and then conquering lands. So now Rome looks like the hero, and Islam and the Arabs look like the outcasts, and that's exactly the way they wanted it, and it worked for Rome. Okay, so now let's bring this stuff all together. Let's put the whole Islamic connection into it and put this stuff together. So now we all know this is the symbol for Islam. This is the symbol Muslims use. So now, what is this? This is the original costume for the KKK. Look at the symbol. You see, it's the same symbol for Islam, just turned a different way. Now, it's something that the KKK has that's, weird with the circus. They have this weird connection to the circus. It's a long story. So now we see this whole identical logo. This is a real picture of Albert Pike wearing a uniform that looks similar to the original KKK uniform. You see it clear as day. It looks similar. So now, when we get into this whole thing, you're going to see that it's a major connection to Islam and the leaders of Freemasonry that's been right in front of your face, but a lot of people, they don't want to see it, but there's no way you cannot see it. So now understand, make this connection. This is the holy book for the KKK. It's called the Quran. Anybody who studies the KKK knows they put KL in front of anything they have an affiliation with. Quran. Sounds like Quran. They have a hymnal. How you got the Bible and hymnal, songbook. They have a hymnal. It's called the Music-Clan. Muslim, Music-Clan. The Music-Clan. Put the connection together. Now we know this is the symbol for Islam. It's also the symbol right here, the original, the old symbol for the KKK. But where else do we find this symbol? We find it with the Shriners. Now we know that it's the logo for the Shriners. You see it all over the place. And when you look at the AAONMS, which stands for the Ancient Arabic Order Noble Mystic Shrines, or when you unscramble it, it spells out a Mason. A Mason. How many black Muslims knew that they was in the KKK? A lot of y'all don't understand that. You're in the KKK if you're a black Muslim, because that's who they affiliated with. These are the people who is controlling it. This is what this stuff is all leading up to, as you will see. They are running the whole show. So now understand, here is the Abu bin Adem Shrine Mosque. Look at the top. It's the same thing you see at the top of these Islamic mosques. Just look at it. Does this guy look like a Muslim to you? Look at this guy. He's a part of this mosque with the Islamic symbol at the top of it. Does he look like a Muslim? Does this guy look like a Muslim? Why are these people wearing fezzes that says Islam, that symbolizes the Muslims? Why are they wearing it? Just take a look. Understand what you are seeing. Understand. Does this look like a Muslim? Do these people look like Muslims to you? So y'all can't put this connection together, and it's been in front of your face for years. Now, if you watch my videos, I always talk about how when you go into a Masonic lodge, you see on the altar 3 books: the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran. Now you understand why. These are the 3 books. 3, keep that number in your head, that they're going to use to bring about their whole New World Order. You know, they're capping that capstone on the temple, and, you know, completing the whole agenda. That's what it's about. And these 3 books, where they hide everything, as I have been revealing to you throughout, you know, my videos. You got to understand that it's an agenda. This is what the book is about. Trying to tell you something, but people don't read it. Now, when you look at the whole Shriners logo, you see that Arabian sword there in the whole Shriners logo. You know, that whole sword that they use to cut off Christians' head. It's the same sword that you see in the jihadist symbol when you go over there to the Middle East. You see that Arabian sword there to symbolize jihad. You know, it's a 3-step process, plain and simple. The first step was the Torah. The second step is the Bible, and we are in the 3rd step, which is using the Quran to basically bring about their new world order. It's just that simple. It all began 2001, September 11th. And I was talking about this in the previous video. When you look at the Masonic symbol, it's called Memphis Mezrah. It basically means cutting off the head of the old order and bringing about a new order. What happened? That's what it was. Here's the symbol right here. See that Arabic sword? See that Arabian sword there? That's what it means. 2001 was the beginning of the 3rd phase, the beginning. You got 3 world wars. Everybody know about Albert Pike. Supposedly have writing the letters to Giuseppe Mazzini, talking about the 3 world wars that would bring about a new world order. First, I mean, this is before the wars even happened, by the way. So, you know, first 2 wars went off exactly the way it says in the letters, and 3rd World War is happening exactly the way it said. You can believe it or not, but the fact that this stuff was still written so long ago, before the whole Muslim thing, and it's happening exactly the way the letter says, should tell you something if you don't believe it. It's on point, and it's supposed to have been written by Albert Pike. So, you know, that's weird too. So 3 phases. It's 3 strikes we got, and it's weird that baseball is played on a Masonic diamond, and we got 3 strikes, 3 books here. Played on a Masonic diamond. 3 strikes and we out. 3 strikes and we're done. And we got 2 strikes already. 1 strike left. And we sitting back and we watching that ball, and it's like nobody is intending to swing. We think it's a ball. We're going to take it, and we're going to strike the fuck out, and they're going to win. And I'm going to tell you now, and I'm going to keep it 100% real. They're going to win anyway. There's really nothing, you know, we can do about it. We're basically done unless people wake up. And it just don't seem like it's going to happen. I don't understand how people can see what's going on and not want to get more engaged into waking the rest of the people up. But this is where your Islam comes from. These are the people who control it, and they're showing you. Look at the Moors. Everybody want to get into Moors, and I have a respect for the Moors. They helped civilize, you know, the world during the Dark Ages. But you got to realize these are not the same Moors. These people you see walking around today. These ones who claim Islam and swear to Islam. These ones who's trying to basically get you to stay under the oppression of the master. Plain and simple. They used the knowledge of the Egyptians and gave it to the white man. They should have used that knowledge to help black people instead of giving it to the white man to build all the stuff that they built. They should have used it to help black people. That's how I feel about the whole Moors thing. And in the core, they worship basically the hidden knowledge of Islam. And you see they have a fez, just like the Shriners have a fez. It's all the same. They always talking about legal stuff. You know, oh, well, use the law, this and that, keeping you in this whole system. How the hell are you going to basically try to beat them at their own system? They crooks, they criminals. If they don't want to give you something, they just won't do it. They'll kill you, they'll get rid of you. So you can't walk up there saying, I know the law this, the law that. The law don't mean shit. It's ran by criminals. So all the stuff the Mormons be kicking, it sound all well and good, but it's trying to get you to basically accept the establishment and try to find little ways around it. But really, they sit up there talking about Islam and they worship the true, the hidden meaning of Islam, as I've been showing you so far in this video, which is, you know, basically all this stuff. And it's even deeper than this, and, you know, too deep for me to go into now in this video. So as I said, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. There's a lot of Muslims who I respect. I respect anybody who is ignorant in this and, you know, trying to stick with it because it's something that they believe in. I have respect for that if you are doing it truthfully in ignorance and not in just, you know, trying to, you know, prove somebody wrong or ego or just trying to, you know, stick up for your team because you are a Muslim. Some people just don't understand this stuff. But those of you who come to YouTube, who come here or who are here, like I said, you are obviously here for a reason, because deep down you truly do not believe and you are still looking for validation, plain and simple. So I want you to see this is the hidden core of Islam and who's running it. Look at the fezzes. Follow the fez. Look at the people who wear it. Look at who's controlling it. Why do they have so many Islamic symbols on it? Do you think these people are Muslim? They are not Muslims. These are the people who is controlling it, who is running it, and they're trying to bring about this whole new world order. I mean, this whole ISIS thing that's going on right now is out of control, and it should have been under control if we was really the America that we're supposed to be. Now, do you think this right here is a coincidence? Take a look. Fez says ISIS. Take a look at the building. ISIS. So you have these Shriners who go back to Freemasonry and, you know, Knights Templar, all this stuff that I was just telling you. You have, I mean, this stuff was here. This whole ISIS stuff that I'm showing you with the Shriners was here before it. ISIS. So put the stuff together. Come on. Not a coincidence. Put it together. It's the same shit. They're trying to tell you something. These are the people who is running it. I don't understand how people fall for this stuff. You're smarter than that. I know y'all smarter than that. I know it. And y'all don't realize it, but you are here because something in you wants to wake up. Let it wake up. Get the information, study. Let this bullshit go. What? Come on. What are they doing that is that great? Now, don't get me wrong, there was some great Muslims who did some good things for black people. And, you know, that's true, but that doesn't make the religion real. It makes them good people who did good things for black people. It doesn't make Islam correct. It doesn't. So you can get emotional, you can get upset. It's not going to change anything. The only thing that's going to change is the fact that you are still stuck in a religion that you know nothing about, and your ego is keeping you down. Let it go. Let it go. A smart person who just seen this video and watched the whole thing will understand. I mean, it's the truth. Do your own research. Don't listen to nothing. I'm not here to persuade no one. I'm putting out the information. But I want you to be in something having full knowledge, especially if you're black, because we are so behind right now. And so many people are getting swept up in this Islam. As I showed in the first video, they are forcing Islam on the Africans. Muslims keep saying Islam is on the rise all over the world. Africans keep converting because they are forcing them. If you don't believe it, I proved it in that first video. Go check it out. So this was a video. I had to do this. I had to put it out so you can understand and see what's going on and what is at the inner core of Islam and how it came about and who's really running it. But come on, the reason why I didn't do so many videos on Islam and I keep pounding at Christianity and stuff like that and at the Hebrews is because Islam is so obvious to any real scholar or anybody who studies antiquity. It just popped up. It's new. I mean, come on. It's new. Do some research. You know, get off your knees, get up, stand up, be a man, and do some research. Be a woman. Don't even get me into that. How you women can take that stuff. Like, come on, do you know how they treat y'all? I don't get how any woman could be a Muslim. I mean, that's just crazy to me. But like I said, this was my video, and got a lot more to come. I want to thank y'all for watching. You know, like and subscribe, share the video, and see you guys next video. Thanks a lot.